Welcome, Rauta viewers. You've gotten used to me being in a good mood when I'm talking about good albums and all that, not to mention interviews and all that stuff. But even though I'm not one of the negative persons, sometimes some things just get under my skin, kind of creating an itch I just can't scratch enough. So today I will present the top 3 most annoying metal phenomena in Finland. Why not, international, why not global? Because obviously I am not that well acquainted, well informed and whatnot about what things happen in metal worldwide, and it would be kind of tricky to pick all-time top 5 and all that stuff, and it would take a hell of a lot of time. So today I'm gonna a little bit enlighten you, dear audience, about stuff related to metal happening in Finland. And why Finland? Well, first of all, I live here, and the second of all, Finland is known for being a metal capital of the world. Well, that's kind of a bold statement, but I'll get that in a little bit later when we reach the top 1. But first, let's start, which already you've got hint of with the image here, with the video, and that is heavy metal Christmas carol music. That is Heavy Christmas. So, number 3 in my annoyed list, and by no means this is not kind of a particular, straight, tight, what up, whatever list, but just top 3 of annoying, stupid metal phenomena. Now, this is also the oldest one, so I'm not maybe that much annoyed as I used to be, because, well, you kind of get used to it, even, shitty things. Now, Raskasta joulua, which is translated as Heavy Christmas, is a concept created by Finnish metal people, to do Christmas carols, or basically any kind of a Christmas song in a way that it's heavy metal. Now, I don't know about you people, but to me it contradicts in a very, very bad way. First of all, Christmas carol songs are all about, about Christmas. They are kind of a happy-go-lucky kind of a stuff, uptuned, whatever, and kind of a music that is, to celebrate Christmas and all that stuff. Mostly quite annoying when you think about their, how the melodies go and, the lyrics and just everything. Now, most people, even the non-aggressive people who are not that hateful or whatever, this kind of a happy music is like the opposite of why we're listening to metal. I mean, we don't have to be negative or hateful or, violent, aggressive people in order to, enjoy metal. And that's pretty much everything. Everybody knows this who is involved in metal. Doesn't matter what the other people say about metal, devil's music and whatnot. Yeah, sure, why not? But that doesn't mean that we have to be so negative about it. But it really gets me negative when I have to hear crappy music. And Christmas carols are exactly those which kind of start to annoy me very quickly when I start listening to them. I mean, like hearing them in a mall or whatever. Now, this concept of Raskasta joulua or Heavy Christmas or whatever is very stupid if you ask me. I know nobody's asking, but nevertheless here I am telling you that. Take those Christmas carols and, just do them in a heavy metal way. That sounds like a joke. Yeah, I wish it was a joke. After all, for example, the dozens and dozens of gigs with, people from metal bands which are already quite, well known, quite big names, well, in terms of metal anyway. No, not big as Iron Maiden, Metallica, but, bands like, Nightwish and all that stuff. And when these vocalists and whatnot start, interpreting these songs, it feels like really, really stupid. I mean, first of all, it feels like they're all in for the money, which is probably true. Suddenly, every dad and mom and who knows who has nothing to do with metal music in the first place are suddenly big metal fans because they can go, to the local church or whatever, or, concert hall to listen to these kind of metallic, heavy metal versions of these songs. So goddamn stupid, it makes me want to kill all these things. No, I'm not vengeful, I'm not aggressive, I'm not, the person who has nothing to do with such activities. But you get my drift, right? And if you don't, well, go screw yourself. The thing here is, I don't mind if some bands do it for the money, glory, fame, or groovy sex thingies. I mean, to each his own. But Christmas carols with metal music? Really? Really? I hoped it was a joke, but it's been continuing so many years and it's just, growing like this big boom. It makes me really feel sick. Goddamn annoying. Now, this takes me to another topic. Number 2 on this list would be a spin-off of this heavy Christmas thing. And it's called something like heavy schlager. Now, schlager music, if you don't know, there's a link on the description box below, which kind of explains you what Finnish schlager music that is called iskelmää is all about. Someone could say it's boring music for boring adult people. The type of this kind of dancing tango and whatnot. It's kind of with uplifting lyrics and or sometimes really uber sentimental stuff like she left me and now I'm all alone, I'm just living in my summer cabin and feeling sorry about myself. But also kind of these really cheesy love songs and all that stuff. And Finns are quite crazy about that. It's the kind of music that I was forced to listen to when I was traveling with my mom and her husband when I was a little kid, and they would play that on a car radio or whatever, and just having those tapes and repeatedly playing the same songs over again, or maybe just buying a new tape from a local gas station and have another load of those schlager songs, which are more often than not kind of a localized versions. I mean, they could be a kind of hit song in Italy, for example. Then it would, some songwriter or composer or whatever, would kind of fit Finnish lyrics into that and, create a Finnish version of that. And it's really facepalming bad music, like most of all anyway. And nowadays, kind of like heavy schlager music. So, once again, like these heavy metal Christmas carols, now they're taking the schlager music also in, like heavy metal version. Shredding guitars, but doing these kind of vocals, and it kind of sucks. I mean, those songs, they are not good in the first place. And, having a cover song or two just for, gags and laughs on your own dance album, yeah, it could pass as like, okay joke. But as an, album or a tour of gigs for people who are not into metal and suddenly, woo, they are. Like our Prime Minister, I mean the ex-Prime Minister, so some 10 years, 15 years ago, was suddenly into heavy metal. How convenient, because Lordi Orchestra won the Eurovision Song Contest. It's so goddamn stupid. So it's like this, trying to make some easy bucks by creating these heavy metal versions of these Christmas carols and schlager songs just because we are, after all, a world's metal capital. And that already sounds quite ridiculous too, doesn't it? Which brings me to my top 1 of this hate list. And that is the metal capital of the world, competition, or should I say competition with quote marks. And you might wonder what is going on. Well, you can find this website. It's also in the description box. There was this competition prior to Tuska Festival, which is quite nice metal festival. But there was this attempt, at least it felt like legit, you know, kind of honest and all that stuff. Way of, you know, finding which is the most metallic city in Finland when it comes to, you know, bands per capita. And none of this claim, you know, Finland being the metal country of the world, well, that is based on the fact, or at least claimed fact, that we have more metal bands per capita than any other country in the world. Might be true. There's lots of figures to back it up, but that's kind of hard to calculate, because so many metal people actually have their side projects, which again kind of, you know, screws the numbers. Now, let's assume for a bit, for the sake of it, that Finland is actually, you know, this metal country of the world, based on the amount of bands and all that stuff. There's some crap in my eye. And let's assume it's true. Okay, nice. So this kind of competition or whatever is supposed to be kind of legit in a way of, you know, let's find out that city which has most metal bands versus the population. Now, this would be all nice and cool if it was done in a neutral way. Say we could use some database, which, I don't know, maybe Metal Archives, which has more than 100,020 something metal bands and growing. We could take the data, put it in the page, and, you know, do a little calculations, adjust names and all that stuff. And maybe, just maybe, we could have this basic information about which city has most bands. And maybe, even though this is not too serious kind of a thing, we could probably find this metal capital. Joke is enough. But instead, this competition was basically arranged in such a way that people could be, you know, just adding the bands. And this is actually where communication usually fails. Because it's not like everybody suddenly, boom, knows that, okay, there's this site, let's just add bands. And let's be honest about it. Let's not just add bands that had actually never accomplished anything, not even a demo tape. Not to mention, say, an album maybe. Or maybe done gigs or whatever. Like, for example, Metal Archives, why I love it is that they don't actually take demo bands or bands that are just, you know, hot air, like the saying goes, you know, that are something actually real. They are actually, you know, they are actually done something. But suddenly, the competition was won by a small place called Lemmy, which happens to be a home to a couple of more well-known bands in Finland. I'm not going to even mention them because they don't actually deserve this kind of coverage. And suddenly that city won, which is kind of funny because almost none of those names in that city has done nothing. Absolutely nothing. For example, if you take Metal Archives, I think there are like 2 bands from Lemmy. And suddenly on the site there are like 13, and because it's a small city, boom, it won. Because it's actually, you know, bands per capita. So it kind of felt really weird because we have bigger cities with lots of bands, like Helsinki, Tampere, Oulu, and so forth. You know, those bigger cities, they obviously have more bands. But since it's because this is bands per capita, it kind of strangely, you know, manages to screw things over. And suddenly, a place called Lemmy, which is non-existent, almost, I mean, like, barely nobody even knows it. And suddenly it's the metal capital of the world. It's like a joke. I mean, let's put it this way. If we would want to find a place which is like the hipster capital of the world. And suddenly we could, just take some neighborhood which happens to be trendy at the very moment of when this kind of a competition is, I don't know, unleashed. And suddenly we go, yeah, this little city of whatever neighborhood is the hipster capital of the world. It would make no sense because we know that it doesn't work like that. I mean, don't get me wrong, if this was a fair competition, if these bands were actually like bands that had actually recorded something, they were actually, have done actually something worthwhile. Yeah, sure, go Lemmy. I don't have anything against Lemmy. It's an actually point of no interest to me. But this kind of a thing smells fishy, and there's a reason for that. Because some of these more known metal bands in Finland actually have ties to Lemmy, which are also being kind of funded one way or another in this thing. Boom, there you find the guilty one. Now, so this whole competition, as stupid as it might have been in the first place, got even more stupid when there was this kind of a background information, and it got me annoyed because people were like cheering, like, yeah, go Lemmy, like we're Finnish people, we have this metal capital of the world. Well, piss off. That's all just some random stupid shit. And even though one might claim, with blue eyes and all that stuff, but hey, come on, it's promoting metal music. Now foreigners know how to come to Tuska Festival in the Finland, so it's basically boosting up tourism. Nobody gives a rat's ass about it. I mean, it's not like we're like male brothers and sisters and suddenly we're hugging each other and, hugging so much that the world peace is like gotten and everybody in the world is like, yeah, let's stop the world wars because Finland is so great with, having these unifying brothers and sisters and all that crap. I mean, it's like, so goddamn stupid. It almost makes me annoyed again. So, there are probably lots of stupid stuff going on worldwide, global level in metal music. These are just some 3 quite random examples how stupid metal can really get. And I know some people are like, oh, you're just wasting your time and that stupid rant. Nobody gives a rat's ass about your take a beer, let some Steve off by, checking off and whatever. Yeah, I could do that. And I probably will. But still, because this is a metal channel and I'm concerned about metal music, I'm concerned about metal bands, metal people and whatnot. I don't want you to be a douchebag. Don't be part of those metal douchebags. Don't let stupid metal phenomena happen. They control what happens in your city, your country, and focus on some good shit. Good metal bands, good albums, all that stuff. Lyrics that matter, thoughts that matter, ideologies that matter. Don't waste your time with crap like this. That is these top 3 of my hate list of metal. Do you have a metal phenomenon you know about which should be put in the grave? If you do, tell us and I'll dig into it. Thank you for watching, and as always, drop your comments on the box below and stay metal, stay brutal, don't be a douche.